This is a medlar. It doesn't look like much, but this is what it'll become when it's fully grown. Still not much, but 100 years ago, this fruit was on every table. Today, though, Jane Stewart owns what's thought to be one of the biggest and possibly only orchards in Norfolk.
It's an effortful fruit. You can't pick one off the tree and eat it. They come off the tree rather like golf balls, actually pretty unusable. They need to be bletted. Now that's a sort of special word that is really reserved for medlars. Essentially it means that you find a nice cold place, lay them on a tray and let them do their thing. Soften to the point where all the natural sugars are liberated, and it takes a few weeks. So this is one of the reasons I think why the medlar fell out of fashion.
This is the tree that started it all, but it wasn't until Jane was diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago she started turning the fruit into preserves as a kind of therapy, and the orchard grew. Today she's cancer-free, but her therapy's now turned into a business, making and selling medlar jelly and medlar cheese from her home in Eastgate near Aylsham.
People fall, I suppose, into sort of two groups really. There are those who know what a medlar is and then tell me confidentially that they have a tree of their own, and when I ask them what they do with the fruit, they say, well, it is recycled through the grass. And then there are others who have never heard of it and who are intrigued, and then quite often will be happy to taste either the medlar jelly or the medlar cheese that I'm showing at that particular point.
And that intrigue means popularity is growing, and Jane says demand was so high at the Aylsham show last year she realised she had to double her efforts. What started with just one tree is now 101, but that hasn't stopped people asking, just what does it taste like?
Actually, it tastes like itself. The closest analogy might be a very buttery, rich, very, very ripe apple. It has that sort of fragrance, which isn't surprising, given that it is actually a relative of the apple, member of the same family.
Jane wants to keep her company local and doesn't have ambitions to take her produce into supermarkets. Instead, she's looking into new products, hoping one day soon we'll be drinking medlar wine and eating medlar cake, the once forgotten fruit back in fashion. Lauren Hewitt, Mustard TV, Eastgate.